So technical
are
difficulties
live.
and all that.
Yes.
At least we've overcome those technical
So
difficulties.
here,
That's
what am I
something.
doing with this here? I'm not a technical.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. How you
Oh,
doing?
hi.
We Paddy and Jud. Yeah, there's no point me having that. He's trying to give me a wee button to play with, and I don't play with wee buttons.
It's called delegation, Stephen. It's called delegation.
My wife calls it clumsy. There you go.
Well,
Um,
Sally's always had a gift of polishing a turd. Stop it.
Easy,
Stop
everybody.
it.
Yeah, Justin's trying to kill me. He's trying to
Uh,
make me have fun and enjoy myself. You're very welcome. There's a good crowd of you there already. It's great to see you all in. And Justin's going to tell you what we're going to talk about tonight.
Well, tonight, I mean, last week we were talking about things to do because we'd had guests on for the previous couple of weeks.
Uh-huh.
And then what we were thinking was, let's have a wee chat ourselves.
Uh-huh.
And we were trying to think of something to think of. And we thought about, well, I suggested something about knives that have continued to surprise us. You know, the sort of small hitters. And then what happened on Sunday, just by complete coincidence, was that Slippy and Thrifty, Slippy and TK.
Yeah, that was a good show. I watched their
it was
show.
fantastic.
Show.
It really was good crack. We're doing underrated knives, and it felt like sort of a natural segue into knives that we thought were just little diamonds in the rough.
Yeah,
almost.
we didn't expect it to be so good when we got it.
I know.
I think that's the way. And to be quite honest, I've got quite a few here, and Justin has quite a few. We'll not get through them all, probably, but
probably not.
I'm going to pick sort of ones that have some that everybody can have, and then have some sort of maybe a wee bit pricier, you know, that middle range. But they just surprised me how good they were, because a couple of them, in fact, at least two of them are old knives. Three of them actually are old knives. They're not new models. And as you know, this year, both me and Justin, we buy more in the second-hand market now than we actually do buy brand new.
Because we're cheap.
Yeah. But, you know, I would have thought that in the beginning, but I have had more fun chasing something down, and I know you have, chasing something down, and, you know, twisting Mikey's arm till he lets it go. We've both done that. It's quite nice to twist Mikey's arm. And that's besides what's in it.
And Sean, I mean, just as an eye opener, I didn't have to sleep with him for it. So there you go.
Yeah. He did take all his clothes off and dance.
He wasn't impressed, Sean. Yeah. I mean, he's used to a real man for crying out loud.
It wasn't a good song. It really was, yeah. But there we go.
The images we're leaving for these folk with us are not healthy. They're not healthy.
But yes, please join in today if you've got anything you want to ask. Any knives that, you know, in fact, this is it. This is the end of it, right? From now, every single one of you has to put in a knife that you bought in the last year, say, that has really surprised you at how good it is, how much you use it. And I think that's the way I judge something's good, because I have so many knives. And the more I use a knife, it usually means, obviously, that that's a good knife.
Yeah.
You know, it just stands to reason. And I'm not going to do the natural Jack Wolf and things like, well, I might do.
But
I'm just going to show you one, just one of them that's the new one. So I just got that today.
Do you want to run through the chat and just say hello to everybody?
Yeah, I suppose so. They are a bit demanding.
They're needy.
Needy. Get them knives up there. I'm not going to talk. We're not going to start until you start putting the knives up.
Stephen, you know as well as I do that we couldn't hold our water if our lives depended on it. So we got Moosey in. We've got Michael in. Michael is first in with his new Sebenza. Michael is Blade Lord, I think, the absolute unit on Discord. Tony's Ponies is in, and Tony had an interesting question that we might get time to discuss today, because the Knife Raven released
I seen it, the Broken Springs.
The Broken Springs.
I've never had one.
No, I mean, and I think was it Cyclone Edge or something in the Discord? He's the only other person that Tony's talked to that has happened to. But it would be interesting. Just throw it in the chat.
I mean, because I just immediately said I've never had one, and it's like the Benchmade bug out.
Yeah,
a lot of people have never had any problems with the Benchmade bug out.
True.
Or you know, the 940. I've had 3. So I mean, there's the opposite.
Yeah.
With a strong detent, you're buying that with the risk that could happen, and it's as simple as that. Now, Ashley will change it. There'll not be a problem with it. You know what I mean? Unless it's 100-year-old or something. But you know, if it's new and it goes, but you're buying that for that retention. That's the
Yeah.
main part for me.
Is a
It's just me.
the big
Yeah,
tension.
I
Yeah,
love the strong
I
retention
I would agree
on a
with
work
that.
knife.
I would agree with
And
that.
so yeah, we'll come back to that. That's a good
we'll
one. Yeah.
circle back around to that. We've got
Yeah.
Marco in. We've got splitting size. Byron's in.
Yeah, we've got to change this, Byron. I just can't get it.
We've got Covered in Bees is in. Covered in Bees, Marion. It's an absolute joy to have you in.
Is it Marion? I don't know. She's never told me her name. She's got very sneaky.
I have special dispensation. I beg your pardon if I'm not on first name terms. Covered in Bees, but you know where it's all very respectful. Well, as respectful as it gets.
I have a beautiful knife to show you that my wife got given. One of my subs bought my wife it about 4 years ago. Beautiful little knife, but I must show it to you. I must bring it next week. Remind me.
We've got Will Wilson in. We've got MBEDC, Marco, Kathleen's in. So all the ladies, all the special ladies are in.
Yes.
We've got Baldy's Blades. There he is. Where the hell have you been?
He's in Spain, drunk.
No, he's back from Spain.
He's back. I didn't even know he'd gone, and he's back.
Yeah, apparently, but he's probably still drunk. However, quite right, Mikey. Respect due to all of our veterans out there celebrating D-Day for the 80th celebrations. I've been watching some of the coverage. Some of the stories are just unbelievable.
It's respect for those who never come back. I mean, yeah, you can call the ones who came back home and fought with such great courage in a horrendous war, the heroes, and they all are. But the ones who didn't come back, their families and them are the complete heroes. To give up your life freely, and just to speak, especially about the Ulster Regiment that was over there, they came from Northern Ireland, from Southern Ireland, both religions. They came and they joined voluntarily, all of them. There was no conscription, and yet they went out there and they got massacred during World War II. I mean, and that's to me, that gets me. But it's closer to home, I suppose. But being a serviceman, and I think of it's a small country, ours. And when you're in a wee town and you die, everybody knows it. And they
all came from wee towns, even wee towns within our country.
And people who you wouldn't expected to come and join from both sides of the border. And that's why Ireland's such a wonderful place, that in times of need, they will come together and do it. Yeah.
It's very
true. And that's nice. I like our separation. That's it. I'm proud to be from where I'm from, and they're proud to be from where they're from. But when it comes together, it is a wee island. We're all on it, and we pull together like any island should.
Now, there's a beautiful sentiment for you.
Well, I get emotional at these times.
No, but it's well worth it, and it's an important day. But just as you mentioned that, talking about coming together, just a word of thanks on behalf of Stephen, who was the brains behind this operation for once, Mark. It was Stephen's idea.
Justin done the legwork.
I just did the legwork, but all of you guys came through in terms of the support that you provided for one of our best beloved
one of our YouTubers
who joins us tonight. But we won't go too much into detail. But everybody knows who they are, who played a part in it, and it was just a wonderful expression. Yeah,
it was the easiest one of those I've ever done in my life,
and it was just wonderful. So thanks all for contributing and participating. It was good to see.
Amazing.
We've got we've got Mikey in, we've got Randy in, we've got Sean in, we've got Spiros in, we've got Griff, we've got.
Have you seen any knives as you come down? Because I've seen a few going past. Yeah.
We've got Mark, we've got Kathleen, we've got Nigel Loftus in. We've got 42 in the chat at the minute. We've got and Orlando is in.
Orlando.
Apparently he has. I'm not sure I should have posted that before reading it, but really, okay.
Orlando, Thursday fortnight. Are you free? Let me know.
Yes, put it in there. Now that you are out there and are famous, perhaps you would, deem sort of, lower yourself to appear on our humble little show. That would be nice.
Because we haven't had a good-looking person on here for a long while.
I know, it's so true.
And you have the Californian playboy look.
He most definitely. Well,
when I look in the mirror, he looks like something from Playboy.
Very true.
And I mean that in a manly sort of a way.
Yeah, of course you do, Stephen. No, we've got Jason Glover, Paul 13. We've got Pens and Blades in.
It's just going to go on for long.
It could be, because we've got a lot of people in. So we've got TK in. we've got Griff, and we have Joseph McDonald, and yes, everybody else, all very welcome. And for goodness sake, start sticking some knives in there. What are knives that
There's
have
a few up there if you go
surprised you?
back. There's a
We've got the Lion Steel Warhorse. Have you seen that one before?
no. What's a Lion Steel Warhorse?
Oh, we're going to have a look at that. I'm going to see if I can Google that and find it.
Yeah.
And we'll have a look at it. But that's one that's worth looking at it.
I love the name though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Boker Urban Barlow. Now,
Yes.
Boker Barlows are going to feature on this one today, I think.
Oh, they are, yes.
They are.
And this is because the Boker Barlow, that one is very much in the same vein. It's a modern interpretation of a Barlow because it's not got a bolster and a handle.
Absolutely. We've got
so,
other
yeah.
ones. We've got the Rosecraft Awanata. That's a class one, actually, to
just-
mention.
I don't think there'll ever be one that's as good at that for the price.
No, I mean, I can't believe that we forgot about that one in terms of what little knives that have surprised us. You know, it's just.
Yeah, I did think of it, but I picked another one on the Rosecraft as one of
Yeah.
the ones that surprised me. One, because it's got garish colours, but two, it looks a very inoffensive small knife.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a full working knife. You know, it's a boy's knife size, which is perfect for me. That's my perfect 3.5 inch closed. But it just doesn't look it.
Yeah.
And when you use
it's actually an elegant looking
it's a
knife.
thin blade. It cuts, it slices. I just love it, I have to say.
And we'll be getting it. We've got the Kershaw Brandywine. Again, that's another one
I've
familiar
never
with.
had. Well, I do know it, but it's been out of quite a while. I think it's got a rebirth.
Yeah.
I've seen an awful lot of them recently. Yeah, it's a nice looking knife. I've this funny feeling in my head that the blade's over 3 inches. Maybe I'm wrong.
Could be.
Please let me know.
That could be. Then we've got Randy's, which is a Super Tinker. Absolutely brilliant choice.
Randy, we said knives, not play tools.
Shut up, Stephen. Don't pay any attention.
No,
to
it's
Randy.
not a knife. It's a play tool.
It is. No, it's a sack. The clue is in the name. Swiss Army knife.
It's a Meccano. It's a Meccano set.
Well, it's a Meccano set. Yeah, okay.
That's not a knife.
I'll give them to you, and you try and put it together. There you go.
There. It's not a knife.
The Tinker.
Randy,
yes,
change it.
Brilliant choice. 3 layers.
Whose name comes first in this, Randy?
the,
Change it or you're off.
Oh, this could be a hard.
Sacks are not knives. Don't fall into the trap of it.
Well,
the Buck 110 is not a traditional knife. Let's get everything right before we get started.
Oh no, he's picking all the fights now, and I'm telling you, he's outnumbered. He is outnumbered. I mean, and he's injured. I think we're in with a good chance there. But we've got loads of possible options. So I suppose, look, it's been a whole 12 minutes, 50 seconds, and we haven't shown a single knife yet. So you kick it off and get started. What is the first knife that surprised you?
Okay. This has surprised me for quite a long time. I've had this, I'm trying to think how long I've had it. It maybe is a year. And I keep using it. In fact, I was carrying it a couple of days this week because it's so light. And it's this knife. Little Spanish knife. Look at that knife. It is just a plain, simple little Spanish knife. This is just plastic cover materials. But they're nice. You know, they're pleasant. And I just think that is the most beautiful blade shape that I have seen in a long time. It is glorious. I love that sort of step. It looks like the front of a ship or a speedboat, doesn't it? It looks like it's moving, and then you have this beautifully bent handle, large hand, and it fits beautifully. This tucks in round just beautifully there. Really is a lovely knife. Really thin, so it's a great slicer. If you a lunchbox knife. Just eating it at all, because you got that broad blade to scoop a lot of the other stuff onto your fork. What a super knife. And I've used this off and on constantly for a year. I just can't get over it because it doesn't dull that quickly either. And I know it's only going to be bog standard,
no name statement,
carbon, but it's just lovely.
I was really tempted. To bring. I've got a what's called a Paillette Estes Sona, I think it is, or something like that. I can't remember. It was a local knife I bought when I was away in Spain last year, and it's another sort of peasant knife.
Yeah.
Like the Sod Buster equivalent kind of thing, but it's actually got a sort of spidey leaf blade shape.
Right. Yeah.
But the thinness of the blade, and because it's a completely flat grind, the sliciness of these things are unparalleled.
Really, it's just super.
And I was tempted to bring it, but I don't use it that often.
The thing is, because this is UK legal as well, I carry it.
Yeah.
But to be, in all honest truth, it's usually about the house. In my pajamas, I'll throw it in there. It's light, but it will do everything you want. Box cutting a lot. And I've never took a sharpener to it because it's
good you've had that over a year.
Yeah, I strop it.
And that's it.
That's it. At the end of the night, you strop it and it comes back. Now I might put it on a 3-micron strop, and then put it on a plain strop after that, just to get it. And really, that is just to get the edge. I like my edge to eventually turn mirror polish, but I don't rush to do it. It'll do it itself. I'm not going to keep repairing it every time I cut something. So yeah, that's my first one, an absolute beauty. And I have I have another one in there that's a locking version, which I didn't use. It's very much the same shape, exactly the same blade shape, but it locks on the back. It's got one of those locks at the front, the wee fold over metal flap that you push up.
Yes.
And then it breaks. But again, beautiful. Just unusual, but I've really been surprised.
And that would be the more traditional Spanish.
Oh, very much so.
It would be that lock at the back on it, on the net.
This is a Gomez knife.
Yeah, it's
Gomez.
No idea.
No idea. But I've seen quite a lot of them out for sale on the second-hand market. Gomez. So that's my first one, and real steel Barlow titanium Heine special. Very nice.
Well, we'll be coming back to that one.
Jason had one of them years ago. They were, they were really popular when they first came out as well, because it was a great bargain then to get titanium.
It was fantastic
for that price.
Yeah, and I mean they're good. They were good solid knives.
Yeah,
they were good solid knives. Okay, so the first knife I'm going to do, and it's just to piss Stephen off more than anything else, is I'm going to do a sack.
No knife.
No, I'm going to do a sack. Shut up. It's my turn.
It's not a knife. So that's definitely not a knife.
What I'm going to do is I am going to show you. This is it here. Okay. So prizes in the comments before I say what size it is. What size is it? What size is it? And here's a clue. It's not this size. Okay. It's this size. Okie dokie. So this is the Ambassador. Okay, so Orlando, you didn't let me down. Well done. Randy, yeah, obviously you're still not, the drugs are still keeping you off your form, the medication, but yes, it's a 74 millimeter, same size as the Executive. I've got a version of the Executive here just for comparison. So this is my posh Executive, which is the Director. Okay, but the Executive has got 2 layers, and the Ambassador actually only has 1 layer. So you can't really tell the difference because this has got stainless steel scales. But this knife surprised me because, okay, I stopped carrying a full-size sack when that's Wenger, I think. Yeah, it's a Wenger Companion. So it's a similar kind of size and shape. Yeah, and I wonder if you have the Executive there. Actually, I don't think you do.
The Executive, yeah.
Oh, you keep it
handy. I keep it handy because it's not a knife. I keep it in a pouch.
Shut up, Stephen. It's my turn.
It does my nails.
So as you can see, the Executive is a little bit thicker. And again, the Executive is one of my all-time favorites as well. It's a cracking knife.
It's the knife. It's the tool that I use the most.
Tool that he uses most. Tool for a tool, I suppose. No.
Bad.
Stop laughing.
Bad. That would be a good joke.
But here's the reason why it surprised me, because it's got a minimal tool set. The Ambassador is actually the big version of the, what do you call the basic knife? Oh, Jesus, I'm having a Paddy moment.
You mean
classic? The classic.
Oh, right.
It's the, yeah, thank you. It's the 74 millimeter version of the classic. So it's got a knife blade, it's got nail file, and then on the other side, it has got your scissors. Okay.
I'll have to say, again, much like the Executive, the blade on that is usable.
Yes. And that's it exactly. This is why this knife surprises me, because unlike, I find the tools, much as I love my Ramblers and my Managers, I love them. I love them.
But the knife is not something you buy it for.
The scissors are too small.
Yeah.
For those of us who realize the necessity of scissors, they're just a little bit too small. And the knife, as Stephen says quite rightly for the first time tonight, Stop laughing. It's bad for you.
Oh, you have no idea.
The knife is just a little bit too small as well. So when I started carrying the Ambassador, I just couldn't stop because it actually drops in my pocket the same way as a Classic does, because there's no weight to it. There's no thickness or footprint to it. And it just goes with my general EDC stuff. Where is it? Here it is here.
Oh.
So that's my EDC. So it's got my wee woven torch and it's got my glasses. And all that happens is that this just clips on here, and that's my EDC. And the one thing I used to miss off a sack and used to carry a sack all the time for was believe it or not, the cap lifter. Because I do like a bottle beer, and I got this wee thing, and that does the job nicely.
Super.
And that is I put in my pocket every day, and that's it.
I have a bunch the size of a jailer.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 keys I use on it. And I have cut it down a bit from what it used to be, but
I think that's what you do.
Yeah.
It goes up and it goes down, and
I've got one of Randy done me one of these not tying things.
a
Lanyard, yes, a lanyard, and it's about this length with brass ends on it. I love it, and I can sit and swing it like a jailer. It's just, yeah.
Okay, so if anybody saw those actions, please don't report us to, for censorship purposes or anything like that, because I don't know if anybody else was watching it. Play it back and play it back without the sound on, because what he was saying could be taken a completely different way depending on how you interpret the actions. Okay, now, so
as long as you take it, I don't care.
And there is a quick question in there.
Any other knives?
Let's see. Torch. It's what is it? Oh God. Well, where am I?
You look at that.
It's a Woburn. Is it a Woburn?
Yeah,
it's a Woburn G2. Woburn G2. That's my torch at the moment. I'm also a big fan of the Tiki light, but it's the Woburn G2 at the minute. Anywho,
so now that we've changed the whole show and we're doing a complete EDC pocket dump,
I was explaining why it surprised me
that the Woburn was on your thing and
somebody asked a question. All right, I'll shut up now. It's your turn.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to go to one that probably got going to be a big surprise, but I had to have a Rosecraft in there. And the one that surprised me the most is this one. One, because it's garish colors. You can see that. You have 3 different colors there, the orange, red, and black. I adore the look of this. It's a bit like the Mexican rug color knife that Kaiser done. I loved it. I never got one of them. But I love this. And it looks like a tiny little knife, but it's actually not. It's the same size as a GEC boy's knife in blade and in handle. It is just a glorious knife. And in hand, it's a Coke bottle shape. So you're not even slippy because the backhands it just sits there. It's got a nice ricasso on it, which I love in a slip joint anyway. You can get right up there, 4 fingers, 4 full fingers on that with a large hand. What a super little knife.
I love that
blade,
clip on
thin
that.
blade
It's
stock.
fantastic.
Yeah, it is. The swedge is nearly too big, but just about perfect, if that makes any sense. You know, it doesn't look silly, but it just changes the whole shape of the knife.
It does.
Beautiful. I love this knife, and I've carried this one countless
That's
times.
what it reminds me of. It's fat spears with a big swedge, with a generous swedge. They just look cracking, and that's almost like the same kind of concept, but with a clip.
Yeah.
It just works
think it's
really
beautiful.
well.
And the D2, I'm going to say this again because I've already said it a few times. The D2 is heat treated as good as any D2 that I've ever used. And this is, a very, very reasonably priced knife. And people will say, oh, it's too dear for D2. What is it? I think these were under 60.
Yeah.
But D2, when it's done well, is flipping great. And this is flipping great. So there you go.
That's a great choice, actually. That is a really good choice. So it feels it's incumbent on me to get a decent one. So I'm going for my second one, and we'll keep in with the red. So my second knife that surprises me. Look at the thinness on that. Look how thin that is. It's brilliant. Now, again, if you want to guess in the comments, but Slippy would get it. This is the G-Slip Compact from Lion Steel. Real steel, beg your pardon, not Lion Steel. So this is the G-Slip Compact, and I got this a couple of years ago, and I just adore this knife. I really do. It's just, see, at this time of year, I mean, I don't use it all the time, but this time of year, it always finds its way into my pocket because one, it's a slip joint with a pocket clip that is very unobtrusive. It is a great knife in hand. It's got a really good lockup, 3/4 lock, and then it just is. It's actually a 5 on the way out, but it locks up really solidly, and it's a fantastic wee knife.
Yeah, it's a nice long thin blade.
Yeah,
Fully used. I love. We were just talking about it. It reminded us both of the
Vampire Jack.
The Vampire Jack, that blade shape, which is so good, so useful.
I mean, and it is fabulous. It's just, it's, what does Stas say? Pokey pokey. It's a pokey knife. It really is, but it's so thin and it's so slicey, and again, no weight in it, and that's my preferred pocket dropper for the summer. So shorts, lightweight trousers, anything like that. It's just fantastic, and VG10 keeps an edge like you wouldn't believe.
I love VG10.
It was a cracking
I don't think I've got many, if I've got any VG10 left, but Spyderco used to, well, they still do a VG10, and it's so good. Yeah. It really is, and it's another one that drops brilliantly back.
It really does. And it's an Ostap Hell design. I mean, I think we've come across different Ostap Hell designs, especially with real steel. The guy knows how to put together a knife.
It's funny, yeah, but you see his custom knives.
Really?
I don't particularly like his custom knives.
I don't think
it's funny that.
I don't think I've only come across his name in terms
Oh no,
of
he has. He's done. Yeah, he started off being a
custom maker.
A custom maker. Well, I think he just started from the basics and went up. But I mean, some of his custom knives I've never been that keen on. But yet the ones that he makes for everybody are fantastic.
Excellent. And I mean, that there's not. I can't remember if he made the Luna, if he designed the Luna, or whether there was another one in Real Steel that is very like it.
Real Steel is a company that, for no other reason than I just haven't, bought a lot of their knives. I have no reason to tell you why. And the next one I'm going to show is a Real Steel that I've just got I think it's my first Real Steel. I don't believe I've had another one, and it's in that same thing now. It's a bit heavier. This is the Barlow version, the Real Steel Barlow. And it's got the full Barlow. It's just G10. This is done much smoother, but it is lined, which is very hard to see. I hope you can see that. The base has got some beautiful knurling all the way down. It weighs a little bit heavier, but it's perfect. It just feels like a Barlow weight. It feels like you got a full Barlow weight. But if you think that was good at opening,
gently, son, gently. I get into trouble with Sally.
He talked again. Every time he does it to me, he's just doing it to annoy me. He knows he's doing it. I just love that sound. What do you hear this now for an opening? That is just beautiful. This is an under 40-pound knife, an N690, which I think is beautiful. Lovely little small long pull there, which is fitting for the size of the knife. Sadly, it's not as sharp. If there's one thing I would say, I'd want the underneath the top bit to be sharper, because it scoops in. So you put your thumbnail in and it comes round and out again. But honestly, apart from that, I love the swedge again. Look at that swedge.
I mean, it's a beautiful spear. It is a beautiful spear.
They can swedge and a spear. If you get it wrong with a swedge, it's wrong and it never looks right. But that is just a beautiful, and it's like a stick, so it's completely comfortable. There's nothing you could pick up on this. It's rounded at the back. It's been chamfered well all around the sides. There's no hot spots. Beautiful. And the knurling on this, on the covers itself. Oh my God, you're not going to move from it. You could go into a Vaseline factory and still come out with all your fingers
in place. Yes, pens and blades. It's a faux bolster.
Yeah.
But the beauty about it is that the scales are actually replaceable.
Yeah.
And it's dead quick.
You just unscrew one screw at the bottom, take that out, and you just slide them off. There's they slip in right on up the top, and then you put the screw back in again, and that's it.
Locks it in.
Turn it over, do the other side. I haven't done it yet, but I've got about 4 different scales for it, different colors. But the purple, do you know what? I actually bought this. Is terrible admission now, isn't it? I bought this off Slippy, and it's been on there. He'd been trying to get rid of it for a while, and nobody was taking it. And I looked at it. I have not a purple knife. I love that purple, and it was more the color of the knife. Yeah.
Oh no,
because
Byron's in. He purple knives are his kryptonite.
Oh right. Well,
or
good,
something.
Good on you, Baron, because I love this purple. I really do like it. But that was the more of the reason that I bought this, plus the fact that it was going at a reasonable price and giving me extra scales. Slippy's very good. If you ever want to buy a knife off Slippy, buy it. There's no problem with Slippy. So I've only recently got it, but by God, it's had some pocket time because it's just a flipping good knife.
Yeah.
Absolutely good knife.
No, actually somebody I think it was Paul Joseph from Spain was saying that N690 as a steel he was never convinced by it. But what do
absolutely,
you think?
it's a fine grain steel, so it takes a real screaming edge. It would be something I would equate it to VG10. Funny, we're just talking about VG10.
Yeah, so it's
I think it's the sort of modern version of VG10.
Okay. So the same kind of properties, same kind of it's never going to give you your high-end performance like your powder,
but it's going to sharpen easily, and it's going to come to a really good screaming edge. That's why a lot of custom makers are using N690 now,
because even in the high,
it's easy to work with. You can get a mirror polish if that's what you want. You can get it screaming sharp in a matter of minutes. You don't have to pull out some expensive, sharpening system. Very easy. But the biggest thing that I'm enjoying more than anything now is how a knife drops and how a steel drops.
Yeah, I know, because it's all in that micron powder or gel
diamond. I'm using that diamond stuff, and right up till S90V with just 3 micron and 1 micron. When I finish sharpening and put it on, when I do a rough sharpen, and I usually stop at about 600 when I'm doing a rough sharpen for a working knife. And then I put it on them too. Good gosh, what a difference. It's great.
Beauty. Blade Lord, Michael, yes. I loved my Bullbuster, and it is a crack. And hopefully you'll like it. I'm a big lad, because an absolute unit like yourself, it will look like my 58mm in your hands. But for me, as you well know, it was a bloody broadsword. I loved it to bits. It was really gorgeous. But I
would have loved it, Michael, but I never got the opportunity. My friend and ally and didn't even let me know.
Yeah,
broke my heart. I cried for a week.
Somebody made me a deal or made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have given that much, and I don't know what it was.
But I have a bull nose, which is a better size for me.
Well, that's for your height. It's not bad.
Shut up. It's all right coming from them, but I don't expect it from you. Do you want me to stand up? Is that what you want to do?
I want you to blow smoke out your nose.
Well, and we've got
Bulldog.
But yes, Michael, I think you're going to enjoy that one, or at least I hope you get a good one. I really do.
They are beautiful. I'd never held one till he got his, and it's flipping fantastic.
Yeah. The Richlight, the Richlight micarta is just fantastic, and the color blue is beautiful.
Keep it purple. Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't like purple.
It's his kryptonite.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm not very good with these things, kryptonites and all. Oh, I'm very sorry. Tell him. Tell him. I've done that with complete innocence in my heart.
I know. Yeah, I know. But it's what we do. I mean, if Jesse was in here, we'd be maxing out the gun stock.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
I mean, we get it's called equality of opportunity, or in this case, equality of abuse. Baron, apologies, but so yes. What else have we got in there? Yes, Michael keeps on mentioning Sebenza because he's just got a new one, a new Chris Reeves in this week. So
Michael,
Michael Blade Lord. Absolute unit. He just got a good Sebenza.
Right. So he did. I love the Sebenza. I will get another one.
Yeah, so you holding on to them. That's
yeah, I just don't hold on. I've had 3 or 4, and they're lovely. They're really, really loved every one of them. The last one was beautiful. Do you remember that wood? I thought I would never get rid of that, but geez, it lasted less time than a Ganzo.
Well, there's always something else.
And they're an easy knife to pass on to get the money sort of back or close to it.
It's very true. There's Sean. Sean has got a land wondering if Sean, like himself, has 20 knives in his Heine Haynes basket at all times. I think that's probably the way to go. probably the way to go. Anyway, what about next one?
Yes, next one.
Okay, so this time we will go. Okay, locking knife. So again, guess what it is? Guess what it is? So this is the mini bug out, or the bug out mini, depending on what way you want to call phrase it. I got this secondhand for a song, S30V, standard mini bug out, you know, the usual. Funnily enough, this is the thing about
You've
it.
got the new scales, the harder ones.
Is that why?
Yeah, they're
because
harder.
I was expecting, see, and this is part of the reason why I'm saying it's a knife that surprised me, because I was expecting the usual squishy nonsense from the bug out, and I didn't get it with this, and I thought it was just because it was a smaller size.
No,
compared to the
looks
full
like
size.
It's the new.
But I have to say, the action is fantastic. The weight is unbelievable. The sliciness of this wee knife. I carry this around my kitchen all the time. I cut up apples. I was cutting up mushrooms and potatoes today.
You actually have the 940, the small 940, the 945. Yeah. That was mine, and he's got that. And having them too, I just think they're perfect. They're perfect for your hands. I know that
they are.
We're joke about hand size an awful lot.
Princess hands.
You know, if you're a lady and you want a really good working knife, you know, or a man with small hands, it doesn't matter. These two, either that or the.
It's okay. You'd call me a lady.
You'd rather, my lady. You'd rather have that than the Benchmade 945.
Yeah. Well, I love the Benchmade as well, but
oh yeah, you're allowed to like them both,
but the geometry on the 945.
Oh,
it's a crowbar. It's a
yeah.
Compared to this,
yeah.
This is a slicer. This is a slice and dicer. The 945 has got the geometry, the same as geometry as the 940. It's not as robust as the 940.
Oh no, it's a lot thinner than it. But
it's still very sharp along the edge. But because of the grind on it, it's just not as slicey.
It's more a working knife.
It is
still, and I kept that. I think it's been kept intentionally that.
Absolutely.
Because that's what the 940 large size is. Yeah. It's a working knife.
But this knife, I find myself when I'm around the house in my pajamas and whatnot, as Stephen calls them, house trousers or something. Yeah. It's just fantastic. You can pop it in the top pocket of a shirt and it just disappears and you don't feel the weight.
The only thing that puts me off that, and why I got rid of the 945, because I really loved it. I think I love my 940. Still one of my user knives, but it's just the action when you've got a larger hand. It's quite. It catches the side of my thumb when I flick it open. But apart from that, it's a perfect working model. Do you know what I mean? I do love it. But I love this colorway.
No,
that just gets me, I have to say. And apparently you were saying it was white.
It was. They did an edition, blacked out blade and white handles. I don't know whether it was called the Stormtrooper version.
Look, you can see it in the top
where it's just worn away.
Yeah, it's just been used.
But whoever had this before dyed it in green, and the scales have taken the color really, really well.
Fantastic!
It's a beautiful, deep, British racing green.
Yeah,
you don't really see it on the. But it's fantastic. It really it just is a cracking knife.
Yeah.
But again, lovely size, really unobtrusive.
I think, to be honest with you, I think probably I'd like you to have them both. Yeah. But I think that one actually is going up over the top of the 4.5. But
and that's why it surprised me, because the bug out gets such a reputation as an expensive, cheap knife.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But when it's done right, as yours is,
it's done right, but by God, it bloody costs you to get it done right. Well, to me, it's not worth it. I just happened to be trading, and this came in, and because I wouldn't have paid for it. You know, this is in 20 CV with titanium scales.
So you can see that
it is a big difference.
Yeah,
like, isn't
it is.
You can see why. Knife. And my hand, the full size knife takes all my hand. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing sticking out at the end there. That's a full hand grip. I just love this as well. But in all honesty, would I buy, this is a 20 CV one, so to buy this and then buy, this was a yellow, came in workshop. And so the person had bought it, the workshop with the yellow scales, and then bought the titanium scales to go on top of it. And I'm thinking that must have cost you.
I know.
You're getting up to like nearly £300 for a bug out, and it's, you know, I love this knife. I'm glad I have it, but I would not just hand the money out of my pocket for it. I have to say, I just wouldn't. But it is a beautiful knife,
and it's lovely to have it. And
yeah,
I think the way you've done it with the red,
yeah, I changed it. It had gold, and I
snip.
put red in it, and I put red in the back just to give it a wee look. A wee look. That was a good choice. Now I have to say, there's not one of these knives so far that I would say no to.
Yeah,
the tool, yes, but the knives, no.
But even that tool, I think, honestly, if you were looking for something to drop in your pocket, that for me is the ideal pocket carry for a sack. It really is. But we won't debate that.
I have it on my keys.
Yeah,
I have the
wee Rambler. Is it?
No, the big the manager, whatever it is.
Yeah, the manager, which is 58,
which is just absolutely super for on your keys. It's a tool. Knives go in your pocket.
We do have a question here before we move on to the next one. Okay.
Oh, it's up there. Paddy, show us your new Jack Wolf. I will at the end of the show. Stay there because it's here, and I've nearly said it's here and I'm queer. Why did that come into my head? I'm coming out later on at night. 65-year-old. There you go. Paddy's out. Yes, I'll show you before we go.
Obviously, the painkillers are having some kind of side effects that are not really on the packaging.
What time is it now? How long have we been into it?
We're 41 minutes in.
41 minutes. At 50 minutes, we'll have a look at the new Jack Wolf, because he bloody surprised me again this month. So yes, my next one I'm going to show you is this, the Buck 112, and this is the modern version of it. Now it's got nickel silver bolsters. It's got I don't know whether I don't think it's brass. I think it's all steel, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't look like brass.
No, it just looks all steel. And it's got G10 handles, which have got a nice bit of knurling in them, which gives it quite comfort. The blade, this I bought everybody's heard this before. I got the 110. It took me, I don't know how many years to get one, because I was never really that much in. Then I bought it and I thought, that's why I waited so long, and I got rid of it about a week later. It was just too big, too cumbersome. But I got the 112, and I was going to go for the light one just to see what it was like. And then a fella came to buy a knife off me, and he came in, and I managed to wangle this out of him. He'd only bought it the weekend before, I think with his birthday money. But and he ripped me off, by the way, for 60 quid. That bugger, I'd let him take a knife away. He never came back and paid for it.
Oh,
which
no.
I thought was and he bought quite a few knives off me. I was really disappointed in him, I have to say.
But
yeah, disappointed. But sure, that's life. But this 112, see in hand, oh my goodness, it fills your hand. It feels like you've got a knife. If you want to feel like a man's man, this is just perfect. I love this. And this hollow grind bites into wood like nothing else. It is beautiful. I love it. And with the S30V
is,
well, just
I think it gives it that little bit extra
on
a buck like that. But on that note, Baze, as he's talking about man's carry, I'm not sure if you would need a specially designed bra to carry this knife, because there's a bit of weight in a buck.
Yeah.
There really is.
Yeah.
But
you will sink if you
tell
swim.
us. You tell us.
You will sink if you swim.
Absolutely. So, but if I was going for a buck, it would be the 112 again, because it's smaller than the 110.
Yeah,
but
the only place I'd use it's in the woods.
Yeah,
I wouldn't carry that about me on a daily basis.
Pocket or pouch?
I would use the wee pouch. It's a lovely leather pouch, and I would just use it. Or if I've got my big, my grey work type tray, I could throw it in there. But I would rather just have it in a wee pouch.
Yeah, no, because it's what you reach for when it's on your hip.
Or have it beside the kitchen and use it there, with the camp cooking, it would be absolutely fine.
But it is such a classic.
It is. And it is a classic. It's,
there's no doubt about it.
It is a classic. And it's a knife with tradition in America.
Yeah.
Do you
I mean,
know what I mean?
well, it's the quintessentially, well, the 110, maybe the 112 by
Yeah.
association. It's the quintessentially American
Yeah, it's
knife.
a
really.
hunter's sort of knife. Whereas hunters now are using very light throwaway razor blades, a lot of them, rather than the old-fashioned knives. But yeah, it's just one of them things. But it is a fantastic version. I really do like it.
Bees, we're getting some support from the guys, and for bra carry, I think that could be a new thing for development. What we need to do is get James Richard from Twisted Assisted to start development for bra carry EDC. I think that would be something that would attract a huge part of the market out there. I'm actually being serious.
What you lot do in your spare time scares the living daylights out of me.
I know.
Kathleen and Bees, I apologize for the boys.
It's not the boys. It's Marion. It's covered in bees. Who's doing this?
It's Marion that's doing it. Marion! Catch a grip.
Exactly.
I'm blushing now. You can't tell because I've got a beard. I'm blushing.
Okay, so yeah, we've got some opinions coming on there. Sanctified EDC likes the 112 more than the 110. I'm not sure if that actually qualifies as heresy in American circles, but we'll throw it out there.
I don't think it is.
And and yeah, radar. I tend to agree. Yes, it just doesn't feel right if you're not doing it if you're not processing meat with a knife. I mean, there's got to be something wrong there. And yes, you heard it here first. It is out there. The intellectual property rights are bees. They are nobody else's. So Sean and Elan, back off right now. Okay, I've got your back, bees. Okay, with my extensive legal education, i.e. none. I've got
Marion
your back.
in it.
Marion. Yeah.
Marion.
I think it's Marion. I mean, I could be completely wrong.
My ex-mother-in-law was called Marion.
Okay, well, let's call her Bees instead.
No, I'll call Marion. Marion, do you ever watch Frankie and Bird? What do you call their channel? Two Americans. He used to drive race cars and all.
Somebody will put it into the chat.
Oh, come on!
I can't remember.
Frankie and Bird.
Are they the ones that do all the car? In the car,
they in the car videos. But she bra carries every single day of her life, whether she's on holiday, whether she's in work, and she's a great one to see. She has a lovely collection of smaller knives. In fact, one of the ones she does like, I do know, is the Little Native that I have there. Yes. I love it as just a pocket carry, but it's so compact, and she carries in her bra and seriously, if you go over and watch her channel, you can see the selection she has and pick from there.
There you go. Yes. Apparently, Dawn C saying Frankie
and Bird,
tacta boob.
Tacta boob. That's it. Yeah, great. Well done, awesome. Dawn. Yeah, but she calls it tacta boob.
No. But Byron, I hope you're paying attention to Elan's educational bits in the comments. We're not posting them live. Anybody who wants to read them can read them at their own discretion and caution. Yeah, Beige, you're dead right. That's an excellent one. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that Frankie's got the copyright on that one. Bra carries all yours, but tacta boob is hers, probably. But anyway.
Should we do one more each before?
We will indeed. It's my go, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm going. People are going to ask me why I'm surprised by this. Because this is a knife that constantly surprises me. Okay. And it's this one. And this is an Ashley Harrison. It is quite possibly, I have about 10 Ashleys now.
That is right up there.
And honestly, I can never go past this one. For me, and this is what we were saying to Stephen earlier, for me, this is everything that my collection means and that collecting knives means, because it is handmade by a craftsman from Sheffield, so it's got all the tradition there you want. It's one of my favorite patterns with the Trapper. It's in the most amazing materials. It's got spalted beech stabilized wood in blue, for crying out loud. And here's the thing, and I know that this is probably a contentious one, because every time I go into a YouTube channel, somebody's dissing Damascus. I freaking love Damascus.
And let me tell you, Ashley does Damascus. His Damascus is really good. He uses the correct combination to get a Damascus you can use.
I mean, look at that. It is just, for me, and honestly, if we're talking about knives that surprise us, and I mean, there's nothing underrated about this knife, because this is one of the best knives. You couldn't underestimate this knife. But every custom knife that I look at or buy or consider buying is almost measured against this one. This is the benchmark for me. This is this is what I'm measuring it against. And I mean,
it's just, exactly. It's a screamer.
It is a screamer. And I have to say, I am the last of the original owners of these left with my knife, and it ain't leaving my collection. No. He gave his away. Slippy gave his away. Not me. It's mine.
Yes, but my little subs deserve a nice surprise every now and then. True. I was really happy to give it away. It hurt because it was the nicest wood knife I'd ever had.
But it did go to a good home.
Yeah, it went to a good home, and the fellas loved it.
I know Slippy's it went to a good home because Martin's a guy who really appreciates Sheffield knives. So.
No, it's lovely to do that. It's, at the end of the day, it's only a flipping knife, and that's the joy of this hobby. At the end of the day, they're only flipping knives, and if you're not wrecking your bank balance, it'll not matter that much if you give one away every now and then.
Yeah,
it's the truth of it.
It is the truth.
So I'm going to finish off, and I'm going to finish off with probably this one.
Yeah.
Because this one has shocked me. Now, I'd known this fella for ages. I'd seen his knives from afar. And then all of a sudden he contacted me one day and we talked about it. And it was beautiful. It just is a beautiful knife. But it's a friction folder. I've never really been a friction folder person. I have one little small one that I love, but all the rest have been, you know what I mean? But this, and I have mine tightened down. And if you've got one of these, tighten them down, because it makes it such a safe knife. Because now, I mean, this is not flopping over. You know, I can still do it one-handed, but it's tight. When I push it in, it's solid. I don't even use it in a slip. I just throw it in my pocket, and I just love using it. But the thing that does it is the blade. Oh, I can't get my hand over there. Can you do it? Sorry, for those of you who didn't know, I fell like an old man and cracked a rib or two. So I'm in a bit of pain. It really can't. Can you?
There you go. Look at that.
That's what sold me in this knife. And it's in 20 CV. You know, it's a friction folder. Nothing goes wrong with a friction folder because you've got 2 screws in it, you know, that do something 3 that do anything purposeful, and that's it. And I just think that surprised me how much I carry it and still carry it. And it was just beautiful. I'm going to actually speak to, what do you call them, but yours too.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I suppose, yeah. I mean, because Midnight Crisis, who was
bless him, it's not his fault.
It is. He did everything right. He did everything right. My academic was with Gus, and then with Mark and NBC, and then finally with Midnight Crisis with David, I think it is, Midnight Crisis, and they did fantastic reviews on it, and it was an absolute joy and a pleasure. And then Royal Mail lost the knife. It is gone, and apart from anything else, MKC was so gutted. I think he's doing a whole Mr. Barlow and the post office thing, trying to get it back, and he has done an absolutely sterling job trying to. But I mean, you know, stuff happens every now and again. You have to be philosophical about it.
I'll contact what do you call him, because it was out on Aaron's behalf of Joe, and I'm sure he'll probably make it right for us.
I think Joe gave us the privilege of actually seeing and showing these knives first, and people got to see them, so it was always good. But you know, so if I've learned anything from it, is do Royal Mail for the guys in the UK, do the Royal Mail thing properly. Apart from anything else, I can't understand why I didn't do the age verification service earlier, because they pick up from your house. Hello,
it's fantastic.
It's brilliant.
I do it now.
It actually works out cheaper than I was sending that. You know the way when you used to go down to the post office and you'd wrap up your knives and make sure that they weren't noticeable, and you'd say, and when they asked you what's in the package, and you said sort of sheepishly, "Oh, camping tools, tools."
Yeah.
equipment, but you would never mention knife.
Uh-huh.
Whereas now you can be fully
As long as
open
it's a
about the
UK
disclosure.
legal to
Yeah.
own knife, you don't have to disclose anything.
Yeah.
It just goes.
You don't need to worry about it. So all I've learned from it is you do it properly with Royal Mail, and you go and you can't go far wrong.
I love the fact they come and pick it up for you.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
It's just great.
All I would say is just be careful with fixed blades, because they really do not know the difference between a bushcraft knife and a zombie killer knife or a fantasy knife. They have no clue. So that's the precaution.
And make sure you get the right amount for your knife on it, because
Yes.
the postage goes up and down. If it's a more expensive knife, the postage goes up. Make sure you hit the right button, in case you do lose it. Yeah. But now we can officially claim for them rather than saying, it's gone.
And just write them off.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
Which is something.
And take a picture of the knife before you send it, so you've got
some kind of proof. That's a good
this
idea.
This is what the knife is.
Yeah. Right, my last one, and speaking of fixed blades, knife that surprised me, and I'm going to do this one very quickly because we're running out of time. This is my little Brisa Bobtail, and this is the knife that featured very heavily on our escapades in the woods not so long ago, and will again.
The Bobtail just suits it.
Perfect, isn't it? It really is. And I'll tell you why it surprised me. It's a perfect tiny little knife again. So you know what I'm like. I like my small knives. It was dead cheap. It's not an expensive knife. It's 12C27, so it's not an expensive steel, but it's a really good steel in terms of
12C27 is a very tough steel.
Yeah,
I mean 12C27 doesn't have forever retention, but it's a true Scandi, so it sharpens in a matter of seconds, brings it back to
absolutely. And I mean, if anybody wants, this is why this knife surprised me as well. If anybody wants to try and make their own knife, you can get these as a blade blank, and then what you do is you buy Corby bolts and handles, and if need be the liners in G10 or whatever, and you can put your own handle and then sand your own handle shape down to this as a blank. I've got two of these. So my original one, I put together myself, and it was so much fun. It really was. It looks appalling because
it doesn't. No, it looks all right. It genuinely looks.
All I can say is it does not look like this. It does not look like this.
That is a wee beauty. It just looks lovely.
It is absolutely gorgeous.
And a nice sheath with them too.
Yeah, they come very nicely equipped. But the reason it surprised me was when we were out in the woods, I'd never worked with a Scandi grind before. I knew about them in theory and everything. I could not believe the cutting that this thing was doing in hardwood. I just couldn't believe it.
They're just made for wood. That's it. They're just made for wood. Beautiful.
Just as a camp knife, I can't recommend it highly enough.
And I can't think of a job around the camp that you couldn't use that for.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for your meals, for your cooking, anything at all. Totally. All right, it's a small knife, but when you're doing something, say even a big potato, you just cut it into bits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's just a lovely little knife, really is.
So there's 10 knives. Oh no, you haven't come to your 10th one yet.
Well, yeah, I had this other one. I'm just going to flip it and show it. This is the Enzo PK. And I got this. This is a locket knife. This is a liner lock. This has really surprised me. It's an old pattern that they don't make them anymore. This one has got the same sort of carbon fiber that you have in your Spydercos. It's that overlay, but it's got a bit of texture, which is nice because you don't have anything to stop you going up in the blade, really. Although you have your finger in there, it does give you a little bit of a stop. But when you've got a clip on it, and once you wrap your hand around it, it ain't going anywhere unless you're going to do something really stupid with a small knife like this. It's never going to slip. But the blade grind on it is just gorgeous. Yeah. It's got a bit of meat there, so it's not thin, but it comes down to a beautiful edge, and that lovely blade grind. I have really fallen for this. Again, it's one of those knives.
It's a really substantial
knife. It really is. It's really a proper little work knife.
Yeah, it really is.
Or nice. EDC, it'll do anything in your EDC day.
Can someone check for me and say, because did Enzo become Brisa?
Yeah, Brisa, I think, are part of that group.
Yeah,
they just don't make this anymore. Yeah, there's a couple of patterns. The PK, the Enzo PKs are not made anymore. They are they are. Brisa is some way, whatever the
Yeah.
takeover was.
But yeah, and they're and I think Breeze is a Spanish name, a Spanish make.
Could well be.
It
I
could be.
don't know.
I
just
thought at first
it
they were
was
Scandinavian, but I'm
Slick
pretty sure they're
Slicer has
Spanish.
the whole selection of
Yeah,
them. Yeah,
he loves them,
he
doesn't he,
and
Eric?
I remember years ago him saying before they were still making them there, and he said, "Paddy, go and get some. Get before they go." And I went, "Oh yeah, I'll think about it." But now I've got older, and I really wish I had. I wish I had the slip joint version. I have
Yeah.
the slip joint version with the Scandi grind,
Ah, right.
but that's the first flat grind, and it is such a slicer. It is beautiful.
Yeah. But that I have to say, because even when I was thinking about getting the Bobtail, I was hoping to get the flat grind in the Bobtail, which is why that surprised me again, because I would almost always opt for a flat grind rather than a Scandi, because I think the Scandi, well, in my head it was like, you know, your Scandi, you're compromising somewhere along the line, but
except wood.
Yes.
You know, except for bushcraft, for whittling, for wood,
That's
that's its forte.
Yeah.
It's not for an EDC knife. You know, it's
for specialist.
You can use any knife to do anything. It's just how good it's going to do it. But if you want to take chunks of wood off, you know, whittle, the Scandi is just perfect.
Yeah. Okay. I know, and
it's
my experience with it just tells.
I remember your face lighting up when you went.
Because we tried two big knives, two other knives,
and good knives,
and they were good knives, all flat grinds.
Yeah.
And then we picked out this little tiny thing, Scandi grind. It was a whole world of difference.
It is huge difference.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. But then, you know, it's like if you want to slice a tomato, you're not going to use that.
No.
You'll use a flat grind.
Exactly.
So that every knife has a use, but every knife can be used to do anything.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
so,
just slightly less effective.
But it is when I seen that look in your face, that to me is what knives can bring. It's that ooh, and you get that little buzz inside you, the fuzzy feeling.
But the last knife that we should be showing, of course, will be our favorite all time and the crowd's favorite all time pattern, which is the gunstock pattern.
Yeah.
Guess who's just arrived?
Oh, Jesse, what about you? We're just about to show the gunstock pattern.
Now, Baron, isn't it good to know that you're not the only one who gets ribbed on this program? Purple and gunstocks all in one go. Don't worry, don't panic, don't leave, Jesse. We're only joshing.
I'm showing this because I've only just got it. Well, I've had it just over a day now, and I'm taking my time to make up my to give a true opinion of it. I'll probably do the video on Saturday, but this is what I've got: the new Jack Wolf, and it is just a beauty. Look at that sheath, and on the back of it you have a pocket clip, so you can carry it in the pocket or on your belt, whatever you want. I put this beautiful bead on this afternoon, and all I had to do was take the screws off and put it around a wee post that's already there. Put it in. It must have taken me an hour.
Really?
Because I had to cut and burn the paracord to get this. This was a long leader, and I had to cut it down to get it in there. Oh my good God! And I had to when the plastic had hardened, then I had to shave it off with a knife. But a super little fixed blade, I think you'll agree. And that is a beautifully embossed wolf on the front of it. You can put it in left or right, but you just have to
hold it up to the screen. So you can
oh, sorry, yeah, it goes in left or right, but whatever side you're orientated to, you put the knife in at that angle, because if you can see, that side goes in from that side over so that it sits in there, and the other side goes in, and it oh, there you go, on the other side, and it just lets you do it easily without any. So I'll just orientate it that way if I want that, but I'm going to go that way, and that's what's sticking out the top, and this lovely wee bead can just pull it out. But it is beautiful, I'll have to say. It is really well made. It is S90V, although it's a very simple shape. It's got a lovely, that is really just a nice, probably 3mm, I would say. 3mm, same as most of your Jack Wolf knives. It is a hollow grind, same as most of it, but this one is a little bit different than most. This has a tumbled finish, which is really nice. It is as sharp as a razor. He can contest it. It really is just a beautiful knife. It's like a little razor in your pocket. You don't even hear it going through it. Beautiful shape, and that's got the same blade shape as your gun stocks. But just really, really nicely done. I got the micarta. I really wish it had been the rougher micarta, But I mean, Ben was saying this looks a bit more upmarket, and yeah, I kind of can see that. But as a working knife, I probably would have liked the rougher micarta. But that's by the by. Just you have to tell how you feel when you're reviewing.
That's very true. But let's see it beside your LT right. Because
I love a little small knife, and I didn't know this like everybody else. This was coming. This is one of my favorite small knives, the LT right,
which is a beautiful, beautiful
little Frontier.
Knife. So that gives you an idea of the size.
Very similar,
you know. So right up there, I can't see it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But there you go.
Yeah, they're about the same size. There's nothing in them.
So they really are tiny little knives, beautiful little pocket droppers. You know.
I this one it could have actually been. I'm surprised how often I use this now. I put it on my desk about a year ago and decided to use it as a desk knife. Absolutely love it, but it's a pocket knife as well, which is just lovely.
And I gotta admire. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but probably Ben will be able to talk me into it. You know how prone to peer pressure I am. I mean, every knife that's been mentioned in the chat, I'm going to have to go out and look at and see if I can buy. But that one, I think I would have preferred a different blade shape on it. See,
yeah.
And this is the thing. I don't think I would have had any hesitation if they'd done the Vampire Jack blade shape in that.
Yeah.
As a fixed blade, I think I would have just
personally a drop point would have been my favorite for this.
Yeah,
with a nice swedge.
That would have been nice too.
Yeah. But look, as a knife goes, I haven't made my decision up yet, but that's when I'm going to do it on Saturday. I could have done it before then, but I wasn't ready. But it's this leather sheath. I can't tell you. I mean, the quality of it is way beyond. Look at that stitching. There's not a tiny little bit of it out of, and it's stitched up over the top so you can push the sides in. So, you know, it really is a real good.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll loosen up. It's a bit tight at the minute. And the pocket clip has got amazing retention. But there we go. It's there. I'll do a review on Saturday. Now, this is not costing the same as the normal Jack Wolf knives. This is coming in at £209.99, £210 for this wee knife with S90V, with a sheath that is worth at least, I would say that sheet's at least 50 quid if you were to buy it.
Oh yeah.
It's an immaculate
it's
sheath.
Perfectly finished. It really is.
So you know what I mean? So you're paying £150 for the knife itself, and that to me brings it down to where it's reasonably priced for what you're getting.
Yeah.
So there you go. And I know it's going to be too dear for a lot of people, and that's absolutely fine. There's plenty of other little knives out there for you to get, but if you're a Jack Wolf fan and you like Jack Wolf knives,
and
this is another good offering.
And that's what I'm saying. I just have to give them props for trying something.
Exactly.
You know.
We never knew this was coming.
No.
It just blew my mind when it came, and it is a cracking little working knife, though. Definitely a cracking really working knife.
So I think that's our presentation.
Yeah. I think we've done really well tonight. I enjoyed going through that. I enjoyed the crack with you boys in the penitentiary over there, where most of you should be.
Please, Stephen, don't strain yourself again.
I know. I can just shout all right.
All right, that's
the breathing I have trouble with.
I was kind of hoping it would shut him up for a while, but no such luck. People, thank you very much for sticking with us. We've got 53. That's got to be some kind of record. So you are absolute stars, every single one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to tell them a wee bit of news? We're coming up to 100.
Oh, yeah. Are we? Yes, we are. Yes.
We'll
be coming up on 100 shows soon.
Isn't that scary?
It really is.
100 shows. It's not that long away.
Well, I have to go back and count them just to make sure, because my maths has never been my strong
point. But we're going to do a giveaway for that.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll do something like that.
Yeah, and we'll both stick in a knife each, and we'll do a first and second or something.
Yeah. We'll something.
Yeah, we'll sort something nice out.
Something nice, definitely. Is there a rumor going around that we're on TK and Slippy show sometime?
I haven't seen it.
No. I don't know if that was a TK. Did you throw something into the chat about that, or am I just chancing my arm again? Anyway, if you would like to see us appear on TK and Slippy's show, or TK and Slippy to appear on this, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah, because I mean they're both very average guys, and it's nice to have somebody on that's very average.
Yeah, and that might bring the.
Normally our guests are very good,
Yeah.
but I mean, sometimes you have to go down with get down with the kids.
Kids. Well, I mean, it's good to bring on some people who don't have that star quality. That
The elderly and the long-haired yobs. It's nice to It's nice to come down to their level.
He's shredded at the minute. You can't call him a yob.
Who?
Slippy. He's more like one of the Backstreet Boys at the minute than he is Metallica.
You really have to get out more. You really have to get out more.
He's never going to forgive me for that once that gets back.
Sean, you've got company, pal. And naked
folks, thank you very much for joining us. We will talk to you soon. And also, we're starting to think about Sharp Show in November. So everybody else who's going to Sharp Show, please let us know, and we'll try and organize some kind of a get together. And now that we know each other,
and if you're not sort of in the sort of in the middle of everything at the minute, and you're going to go to a Sharp Show, and before Sharp Show, probably the week before, what I was thinking of doing, and it's just come into my head now, is the week before, we'll have our podcast the week before. If you're going to Sharp Show and people don't know you to see, they might know you to say, come on that last show for 2 minutes, let us see your face, so that when we meet you at Sharp Show, we'll know who you are.
Yeah, that's a great
idea. And we can bring you into the company, because a lot of people are a bit sort of, shy, or don't want to, put themselves out. We want to see everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, last year, it was so awkward last year because, our fans didn't want to walk up to us and ask us for an autograph or anything automatically. Can't you believe I said that? And it was so bad, that Sean had actually put clothes on. That's all I'm saying. Sean had actually put clothes on for Sharp Show. I mean, now that I know him, I will be hoping he will be going au naturel as it is his normal process. But we are looking forward to seeing you all there. But we've got a lot of shows to do beforehand.
Yeah. Yes.
So until next week, and until next time, peace out, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, cheers, everybody. Take a wee moment to think about D-Day today.
Well said.
Now, is that us?